I'm feeling good.
Hey fam, I ran across this clip of Lurie Daniel Favors who was going in on this white collar who goes by the name Adam, and she was giving her take on the Charlie Kirk situation on people who take on Nazi and fascism ideology. Listen here.
To say this morning.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, hey, I've been listening a little bit, first time caller. Devastated by the news of what happened yesterday and really devastated for the trajectory of our country. My question, my thought is, from the left, it seems like you want to throw out terms like fascist and Nazis. And what would that ideology perpetuate?
What does fascism or Nazism perpetuate? I think we're all pretty clear on that. But we're talking about people who have embraced Nazi ideology and fascist ideology. So, and just so we're all on the same page, because again, words matter. Right? Words really, really matter. Just so we're all clear, Charlie Kirk is the same person who said that basically if there was a black pilot on a plane, he's not getting on a plane. Like, he's someone who said that black women are wholly unintelligent, so they take jobs and positions from white people. He's the one that said the Civil Rights Act created a beast. He's the one that said a whole host of negative things. So if you're spouting negative, racist, fascist, Nazi type of commentary, then pointing out that you're spewing fascist, racist commentary doesn't make the person pointing it out a racist or a fascist. And so on this show, we don't deal with the calling a thing out is the bad thing. We look at the thing that's being called out. Does that make sense?
So painting another person that has different beliefs, whether those beliefs are abhorrent or not, and then calling somebody a fascist or a Nazi, in turn calls for violence against that group of people.
So, I see where you're coming from. You're one of those people who believes that being called a racist is worse than the racist thing that was being called out. So we just don't do that here. You have a frame of reference that might work really well for you, but for us, it's a frame of reference that is really within the realm of the unlearned and the uneducated. So we're not going to say, so what we do is we point out the thing. So if the sky is blue, we say the sky is blue. We don't look at the person that said the sky is blue and said, you're a bluist, you're a colorist. Why didn't you say the sky can also be white? Aren't clouds white? It can be both. The sky can also be black. And you're a colorist. So we don't do that here. If you say racist, fascist things, we're going to identify those things as racist and fascist because that's what people with common sense do. And as somebody who grew up in Germany, a nation that has a real history of dealing with Nazism and of then having to recover from Nazism, I'm in a pretty good position to be able to identify it. I study it. I don't know how much of this you study. From your comments, I'm not quite sure if you're studying this topic or if you're experiencing and feeling this topic, which does provide a different frame of reference. But we don't do the thing here where we say you can't call out a thing for being a thing, because that to us is what unlearned people do. Does that make sense?
Okay, my other question is, what states and cities have some of the strictest gun laws in the nation?
Oh, well, that would be a valid question if we didn't have a nation that didn't have gun violence as a national issue. So if we look at the individual states that are trying to do a thing, and then we extrapolate from that what the nation is doing, if those things are not incompatible, if they're not working together, they undermine each other. I'll put it to you like this. If I have siblings, right? Let's say we all live in a house, we're all siblings, and I keep my room really, really clean. Like, my room is pristine. It is phenomenally clean. Like, you could eat off my floors. You could rub food on the walls and know the walls. You could just eat, and it's an amazingly clean space. But let's say you're my brother and you're next door to me, or you're somewhere else in the house and you are dirty, like so dirty, like you're not using soap to wash your hands, so you're spreading germs. You're not using like a washcloth to clean your body, so like you're an unkempt person. Let's say hypothetically in this example, your room is trashed. You eat and you throw crumbs all over the place. Even though my room is pristine and clean, because we live in the same house, the rats and the roaches that you are bringing into the household are also going to make their way into to my household. So to us here, where we do things based on facts and education, it is a false conversation to say that there are states that have really extreme gun laws but still have gun violence without looking at the reasons that can happen, because those states with really good gun laws live in a nation that has terrible gun laws, has a very powerful gun lobby that basically uses its position to ensure that legislators won't actually pass gun control. And then we end up in situations like this where we are the only nation on the planet that, yes, has mental health issues, as does every other nation. Yes, we have video games that are violent, as does every other nation, but we're the only nation on the planet that has the unique position of allowing as many people as possible to have access to weapons, including the mentally ill, who the Democrats tried to pass legislation and did that would prevent them from getting access to guns and weapons and engaging in these sorts of behaviors, and then Republicans came in and undid all of that. Does that make sense to you, sir?
Okay, so I see what you're doing here. You're putting me on mute so you can spout all of your left-wing.
Oh, don't put him on mute. Don't put him on mute. Here's the thing. You called me. I didn't call you. I don't even know you. I don't really even like you either. But you called me. And so since you called me, you are the one asking to speak with me. Unlike you, sit behind a microphone where there are thousands of people on a YouTube channel, millions of people listening. Actually, now you can shut them down. Now you can be quiet.
He definitely shares the same opinion as Charlie Kirk. And he's very saddened that Charlie Kirk is being labeled exactly true to what he put out. And this guy here, Adam, doesn't feel good, knowing that people see him in a very negative light, which he put himself in.
Because this is how the power dynamic works. You don't have power in this situation to come into a show where we deal with facts and then just spout comments that aren't tied to reality. We have been very respectful. We have bent over backwards to not allow anyone in our audience to violate the memory of that man. We have talked about what he said. We have talked about what he's done. You who don't even listen to this show decided to call up and air your emotions. You should probably be talking to a therapist, but you called into a talk show where we are having a fact-based conversation about the realities of gun violence and political violence in this country. And you think we should just hold you gently by the hand and stare you into your eyes while you just get to lie and divert the conversation? That's not going to happen. So the reason I'm saying you called me and I have a platform is because there is a power differential here. And based on what you said thus far, I'm fairly certain that the power differential is what's really bothering you, because I, as a black woman, not allowing you to talk. And yes, you will be put on mute because I am going to be the one that has the final word here, because it's my show. It is called the Lurie /Daniel-Favors show, not the Adam on line 7 from South Dakota show. But I will give you a final comment if you'd like to. Oh, he's still talking. Well, let's hear what he has to say, because it might be something worthwhile. Oh yeah, go ahead. We listening now.
Yeah, I'm saying painting another group as fascist, Nazis, racist, whatever, because they might have a different opinion than you.
Are their opinions racist?
Oh,
Adam, is it racist to say black people are not qualified to be pilots simply because they're black? Is that a racist comment?
I haven't.
Yes or no? You didn't. You don't have to hear it. You don't have to hear it. You called me. You don't have to hear it. I don't care if you're a racist person. I don't care if you got a racist bone in your fucking body. If you're spouting racist comments, I'm gonna say that shit is racist. And a ding dong like you calling into me to say, hey, why'd you call it racist? The obvious answer is that I said it was racist because it's racist. If you say, this is the problem with white nationalist thinking. You don't want to take responsibility. You are the least responsible for everything. White nationalists will say anything and then get upset that you pointed out that what they said was bad. You don't want to take responsibility. You descend from an ancestry that came into land that it wasn't yours. You claimed it as your homeland, and then you get mad when people say you genocided the land. You came from people who trafficked Africans by the millions because you didn't have the intellectual capacity to even know how to farm that land. You had the intellectual capacity to be a thief and a stealer and a human trafficker, and you descend from people who brought Africans over here and then get mad when we point that out as being a slavery, genocidal, racist thing to do. I don't know what you expect from the rest of humanity. You just think that all the rest of us are just supposed to allow you to just skeet your violence and your misogyny and your racism and your terrorism all over the planet, and we're just supposed to gobble it up because it came from the mouths of you? Like, what an inflated sense of ego. What an inflated sense of an overindulgent sense of importance that you should not have because you do not have the capacity to carry it. We have bent over fucking backwards to not call that man out for the awful things that he has done. And we will continue to do so. Why? Because we're better than you. Not because of something genetic, simply because our culture would not allow us to delve into the levels of inhumanity that you seem to be willing to rot in. Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye and prepare this to go up on YouTube and just talk about it ad nauseum in the comments?
Yes, yeah. This is exactly why an innocent man with a different ideology was shot and killed on mainstream TV yesterday. Because of this hate that you spew.
Wait, what hate? I really shouldn't even waste my time here, but now I'm intrigued. What hate? Where's the hate, Adam?
Calling other people fascist, racist, uneducated.
Okay, so here we go. Let me just ask you this final question. Is it worse to be a fascist or to be called a fascist for doing fascist things? Actually, I don't even want your answer. We're just going to let you sit with that. Just let that sit in your spirit to the extent that you still have one that can hear the voice of reason. Is it worse to be a fascist or to be called a fascist for doing fascist things?
He thought he was going to talk over her because he is a white man with privilege, trying to excuse the racist BS of Charlie Kirk as a difference of opinion. This is not a difference of opinion, and he knows this. It's an ideology that only his kind, white men, benefit from, and it's disgusting that he's trying to defend it.
You are the problem. Because that lack of being willing to take responsibility, that unwillingness to sit in the discomfort, stand on it. You want to say fascist, racist shit, stand on it. I have no respect for people who are going to be racist and then try to hide from the repercussions. I love me a proud racist. If you're going to be racist on these airwaves, stand on business. Do that shit and do it right. If you're going to be a fascist, don't call up here mad because we identify your fascist behavior as fascism. Stand on business. Handle your shit. Do that. And do it with your full chest, because otherwise you just sound like a bitch. Like you're calling a show where we are not in any way negatively talking about that man. We are talking about the horrors of political violence, and you want us to coddle you? God, just some weak, namby-pamby, middling, flaccidly limp behaviors. And add them to the block list. This is just, we shouldn't have to do all this.
3 stages of denial for racist white America. 1. I did not hear him say that. 2. That's not what he meant. You don't understand what he is saying. 3. I don't care what he said.